Welcome to the Best Counsel, aka Advice I Can Offer podcast. First, I would like to make the following disclaimer. This is not an advice podcast. I do not offer advice. I offer what I consider to be counsel. Counsel is what I have learned and what I have experienced in my life journey. If something I say on this podcast resonates with you and can help you, good. But I am not telling you what to do. I am just offering counsel. Hello, this is Reverend Cornelius Brown, and I would like to welcome you to episode 5 of my podcast series, 7 Things Every Married Couple Should Know. Episode 5 is entitled Trust. Some years ago, I read a sign that said, "If you trust, you will get hurt. But if you don't trust, you will live in misery." I believe trust is the cornerstone of any marriage. According to the dictionary, trust means to have a firm belief in something or somebody. I also like when the dictionary says that trust is the acceptance of truth of a statement without evidence or investigation. Blind faith. Marriage without trust is to live in misery. To most folk, trust in marriage means that your mate is being faithful to you, that they are not fooling around with someone else. But just as it is important for you to be able to trust your mate's fidelity, it is just as important that your mate can trust that they can tell you what you don't want to hear. Let me say that again so that I can make sure you heard what I just said. Just as it is important for you to trust your mate's fidelity to you, it is just as important that your mate can trust that they can tell you what you don't want to hear. I can imagine that when many of you saw trust as one of the 7 things every married couple should know, you said, of course, I would bring that up because of the importance the issue of fidelity and trust in marriage is. But the main reason I wanted to speak on trust is not just because of fidelity. Fidelity and trust are very important and a part of any marriage. It's a given. But I wanted to lift up how important it is that your mate is able to trust that they can tell you what you don't want to hear and still have a marriage. Being able to trust that you and your mate can have honest and open communication is so often overlooked in marriage. It's overlooked because too often in marriage, couples don't understand that communication is the glue that keeps long-term marriages and relationships together. But that communication must be real. And when I say real, I mean you cannot communicate only what feels good to your mate. You must also communicate things that sometimes hurt. It's good. It's okay to tell your mate what they want to hear. But also, you must be able to tell them what they don't want to hear. People love to tell other people what they want to hear. Why? Because it's easy. And most of the time, it means the other person will probably like you. This is what most of us do because it's the easiest way to get along with other people. But this should not be so if you want to have a healthy and blessed marriage. Your mate must be able to tell you what others want. And you must be able to trust that when they tell you, you won't want to end the marriage because they did not make you feel good. As a pastor in a Christian church, I was in an environment where people loved telling the pastor things he wanted to hear. Some people would tell the pastor every Sunday, great sermon. Every Sunday? T.D. Jakes is not even that good. But I thank God that my wife was right there to say, honey, it was an 8 this Sunday. 10's the top. But when it was only a 4, and I thank God I didn't have a lot of those, but when it was, she was right there to let me know, if nobody else, that you can do better. At times, we may have the most brilliant idea and want our mate to be supportive of it. But also, we need our mate to be honest and able to tell us that it is not as brilliant as we thought. Telling our mates what they don't want to hear is a delicate balancing act. And I hope that prayer is a part of your relationship and your marriage. But it's a must and only possible in a marriage that you can tell your mate even what they don't want to hear if there is trust in your marriage or your relationship. Thanks for listening, and I hope you will join me next week for episode 6 of my series, 7 Things Every Married Couple Should Know. Episode 6 is entitled Money. Take care and tell someone else about the podcast. You never know how it will bless them.